Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real for a moment. We've all been there, showing up for people who don't show up for us, giving, and giving some more, only to find that some people don't appreciate it. They take and take and take without ever giving anything in return. Here's the thing. Not everyone deserves your kindness, and it's time to stop pretending that they do. Now, I'm not saying we should walk around with a chip on our shoulder or be cold-hearted. What I am saying is that we need to understand the value of our energy, because once you start protecting it, you'll realize that your kindness is a resource that needs to be used wisely. Your kindness and energy are some of your most valuable assets, yet too often, we overlook just how precious they truly are. We all want to be good people, to be kind, to help others. But in doing so, we sometimes forget that we are only human. We cannot endlessly pour from our cup without eventually running dry. That's why it's so crucial to understand one simple truth. Not everyone deserves your kindness. Every day, we face situations where we're asked for our time, our help, our emotional support. And most of the time, we give it freely. It feels good to be kind, doesn't it? It feels like we're doing the right thing, that we're contributing to the well-being of others. However, what happens when we constantly give, but our kindness is not reciprocated? Or worse, when it's taken for granted or exploited? That's when the danger arises. The more you give to people who don't deserve it, the more you drain yourself. We need to recognize that our energy is a limited resource. It's not something that we can endlessly share without consequence. Our energy comes from our time, our focus, our mental and emotional strength. And once it's gone, it's not something that can be easily replenished. So when you give your energy to people who don't value it, you risk losing not only your kindness, but also your sense of self and peace. Think about it. There are people in your life, whether family members, friends, colleagues, or acquaintances, who may not treat your kindness with the respect it deserves. They may take without ever giving back. They might only show up when they need something, leaving you to pick up the pieces when it's convenient for them. But when the tables are turned, when it's time for you to need help, they vanish. This is the point where you need to take a step back and reassess. Are these people worth your time and energy? You might find it difficult to say no, especially when you're used to being the one who always helps, who always supports. But here's the thing. You are not obligated to give your energy to everyone. It's okay to protect yourself from people who continuously drain you. You do not owe your kindness to people who don't appreciate it, who don't honor your efforts, or who consistently leave you feeling depleted. Setting boundaries is essential in protecting your energy. When you create boundaries with people who aren't giving you the respect and reciprocity you deserve, you're not being selfish. You're being self-aware. You are acknowledging that your emotional, mental, and physical well-being should be a priority. It's not about being cold-hearted or unkind. It's about ensuring that your kindness is directed toward people who truly appreciate it. Those who give back, who care for you just as much as you care for them, and who understand the importance of mutual respect and energy exchange. You need to ask yourself, who in my life truly deserves my kindness? It's not about being selective or judgmental. It's about being discerning. The people who deserve your kindness are the ones who appreciate it, who show up when it matters, and who offer you their kindness in return. They are the ones who lift you up, who make you feel seen, heard, and valued. These are the relationships worth nurturing, the ones that will help you grow and thrive. In contrast, there are those who will take your kindness for granted. They'll drain your energy and leave you with nothing in return. Over time, this kind of relationship doesn't just feel exhausting, it feels toxic. and it's your responsibility to protect yourself from that toxicity. You have the right to say no, to step back, and to preserve your energy for the things and people that truly matter. By learning to protect your energy, you open up space for the right people and the right opportunities to come into your life. You become more intentional about where you invest your time and resources, and you stop wasting them on those who don't deserve it. When you preserve your energy, you start to notice that you have more of it to give to the things that align with your values, goals, and well-being. Your kindness becomes something powerful, not something that depletes you. You deserve to surround yourself with people who honor your kindness, who give back as much as they take. And most importantly, you deserve to protect your peace, your happiness, and your well-being by choosing wisely where to direct your energy. Setting boundaries is not just about saying no to others. It's about saying yes to yourself. Far too often, we get caught in the trap of trying to be everything for everyone, always giving, always showing up, always being the good person. But in doing so, we forget an essential truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you give too much to the wrong people, you start to feel drained, unappreciated, and sometimes even resentful. This is when the importance of setting clear boundaries becomes undeniable. Boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are healthy guidelines that protect your well-being and preserve your energy. They allow you to control how much of yourself you give to others, and more importantly, to whom you give it. Without boundaries, you risk allowing people to take more than they should, and before you know it, you've exhausted yourself without receiving anything in return. Think about the people in your life who drain you. Maybe it's a friend who always asks for help but never seems to offer anything in return, or a colleague who constantly demands your time and energy without acknowledging your needs or contributions. These people might not even realize they're draining you. They may genuinely think you enjoy being their emotional support or helping them out at all hours. But the truth is, if you don't establish boundaries, they'll keep taking and you'll keep giving until there's nothing left. Boundaries are your protection. They are your way of saying, I matter too. My energy is valuable, and I can't afford to waste it on people who don't appreciate it. Without boundaries, it's easy to become the person who is always available, always there to listen, always stepping in to help. While this might feel good in the moment, it's not sustainable. Eventually, you'll begin to feel empty, like you're giving and giving without any recognition or support in return. When you start setting boundaries, it doesn't mean you're cutting people out of your life or becoming selfish. It simply means you are prioritizing yourself and your own well-being. You are learning to say no, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. And let's be clear, saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who understands their limits, who knows that their energy is precious and can't be given away to people who aren't willing to reciprocate. Establishing boundaries is a form of self-care. When you don't set limits, you're saying that other people's needs are more important than your own. But when you begin to protect your energy and set limits on what you will and won't tolerate, you send a clear message to those around you. You teach them how to treat you, and you create space for healthier, more balanced relationships. You start to recognize that not everyone deserves your time and energy. The people who respect your boundaries and reciprocate your kindness will be the ones who remain in your life, while those who refuse to respect them will naturally fall away. It's important to recognize that setting boundaries is not always easy. Sometimes the people who drain us the most are those we care about deeply, family, close friends, or partners. In these cases, it can be especially hard to say no or take a step back because we fear that we'll hurt them or disappoint them. But here's the reality. If you don't protect yourself, you won't have anything left to give to them in the future. You'll burn out, and your relationship with them could suffer in ways you never expected. By setting boundaries, you are ultimately protecting the relationship. You're ensuring that you can show up for them in a way that's healthy for both of you, not in a way that leaves you drained and resentful. Setting boundaries also helps you to prioritize the people who truly deserve your kindness, the ones who add value to your life, who show up for you just as much as you show up for them. These are the people who honor your energy, who appreciate you, and who will always respect the limits you set. These are the relationships worth investing in, and they are the ones that will bring you peace and fulfillment. When you protect your energy by setting boundaries, you're teaching others how to treat you, and you're giving yourself the opportunity to focus on what truly matters. You're choosing to invest in yourself, in your mental and emotional health, and in the relationships that uplift you. And in doing so, you create space for more genuine, meaningful connections. It's a process of understanding that not everyone deserves your kindness, and that's perfectly okay. The right people will recognize your boundaries and respect them, and those are the relationships that will make all the difference in your life.
Self-respect is something we often overlook in our busy, fast-paced lives, especially when we're caught up in trying to be there for everyone else. We're conditioned to think that kindness means always putting others first, that true generosity is defined by how much we're willing to give to others, even at the expense of our own well-being. But here's the thing. You cannot give your best to others if you're not giving your best to yourself first. Protecting your energy is not a sign of selfishness. It's an act of self-respect and self-care. Your energy is one of the most precious resources you have. It's not infinite, and it doesn't come without limits. We often talk about energy in terms of physical strength or mental focus, but it also includes your emotional well-being. The energy you spend on people, relationships, and activities can either drain you or recharge you. And the key to maintaining your vitality lies in recognizing that not everyone deserves your energy. When you recognize the value of your energy, you start to understand that every interaction, every request for your time and attention comes with a cost. Some of those costs are worth paying, like investing time in nurturing relationships with people who appreciate you, who give as much as they take. But there are others who will take, and take, leaving you with nothing in return. These are the people who don't deserve your kindness, because they're not offering anything of value back into your life. And when you continue to give them your energy, you're essentially depleting yourself for no reason other than to please them or fulfill an obligation that isn't mutual. By protecting your energy, you're not only setting boundaries with others, but you're also recognizing your own value. Self-respect means understanding that your time, your effort, and your emotional energy are just as important as anyone else's. If you constantly give without ever replenishing yourself, you'll eventually burn out. You'll feel exhausted, unappreciated, and resentful. But when you prioritize your own well-being, you are affirming that you deserve to be taken care of too. You're putting yourself in a position to give from a place of abundance, not depletion. Taking care of your energy doesn't mean you stop being kind or stop helping others. It means you stop giving to people who take from you without offering anything in return. It means you start recognizing when someone is taking too much and knowing that it's okay to say no. It's about shifting the focus from pleasing others to preserving your own mental, emotional, and physical health. Sometimes, self-respect looks like saying no to requests that will drain you. Sometimes, it looks like stepping away from relationships that are no longer healthy or mutually beneficial. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've been the person who's always been there for everyone else. But the reality is, you can't be the person others need if you're constantly empty. You can't be there for others in a meaningful way if you're not filling yourself up first. When you protect your energy, you allow space for things and people that truly nourish you. You start attracting relationships that are more balanced, where kindness and respect flow both ways. You'll notice that the people who respect your boundaries and understand your need for self-care will be the ones who stay in your life and will value you for who you are, not just for what you can give them. Self-respect is about honoring your worth. It's about recognizing that your emotional and physical resources are limited, and therefore, they should be carefully guarded. It's understanding that your kindness is not something that should be exploited or taken for granted. It's an acknowledgement that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on those who don't recognize it, appreciate it, or reciprocate it. You deserve to feel energized, valued, and supported in your relationships, and to experience genuine connections that enhance your life. By protecting your energy, you're showing yourself the same kindness and respect you show others. It's a way of taking care of yourself, of nurturing your soul, so that you can continue to be there for the people who truly deserve your kindness. Ultimately, prioritizing your well-being and recognizing the value of your energy is not just about being kind to others. It's about being kind to yourself. And that is the foundation of all healthy, fulfilling relationships.
One of the most powerful decisions you can make in your life is choosing who you surround yourself with. The people you choose to invest your time and energy in can either elevate you or drain you. Far too often, we find ourselves giving our kindness to those who do not value it, to people who only take from us without offering anything in return. But here's the truth: not everyone deserves your kindness, and it's essential that you start directing your energy toward those who truly appreciate and reciprocate it. When we talk about surrounding ourselves with the right people, we're not just talking about being around those who are nice or pleasant. We're talking about relationships that are deeply meaningful and mutually beneficial. The right people in your life are those who uplift you, who make you feel seen, heard, and understood. They are the ones who don't just take, but who give in return. They are the ones who appreciate your kindness, respect your boundaries, and contribute to your growth and happiness. Investing in the right relationships is a conscious choice, and it's a choice that requires you to be discerning. It means recognizing when a relationship is one-sided, where you're constantly giving and never receiving the same level of care or respect. When you notice this, it's time to ask yourself, is this relationship worth my energy? The truth is, if you continuously pour your kindness and energy into relationships that drain you, you will eventually feel burned out. You will feel unappreciated, undervalued, and even resentful. But when you focus on the people who genuinely care about you, who support you when you need it, and who cheer you on in your successes, you will feel empowered. These are the relationships that help you thrive. They lift you up rather than bring you down. One of the hardest things to do is to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you. It's easy to hold on to the idea that you've been kind to someone, so they should appreciate it and reciprocate. But that's not always the case. Some people will never offer the same energy back, and no matter how much you give, they will continue to take. Recognizing this and understanding that it's okay to let go of relationships that drain you is a form of self-respect. The energy you invest in others should be met with equal respect and appreciation. If it's not, you're just giving away your precious energy to people who don't understand its value. And while it's important to be compassionate and understanding, it's equally important to understand your own worth and value. You deserve to be around people who not only accept you for who you are, but who actively contribute to your happiness and growth. Mutually beneficial relationships are built on respect, trust, and understanding. These are the people who show up for you when it matters. They listen when you need to talk, celebrate your victories, and support you in your struggles. They understand that relationships are a two-way street, where both parties invest their time, energy, and care. When you make the choice to surround yourself with these kinds of people, you are setting yourself up for a life filled with positivity, growth, and mutual respect. These relationships nurture you and allow you to thrive. You'll find that when you are around the right people, your energy is replenished, not depleted. You begin to feel like the best version of yourself because you're in environments and relationships that are aligned with your values, your goals, and your well-being. Sometimes, valuing the right people means making difficult decisions. It might mean stepping away from long-term friendships, family members, or colleagues who drain you. It's not easy, but you are worthy of relationships that honor your kindness and energy. You are worthy of people who show up for you just as much as you show up for them. You deserve to spend your time with those who help you grow, who lift you higher, and who make your life richer, not those who leave you feeling empty. When you focus on relationships that are mutually beneficial, you begin to see just how much of a difference it makes. These relationships become your source of strength, joy, and inspiration. You become more confident, more energized, and more optimistic about the future. You realize that not everyone deserves your kindness, but the right people will always appreciate it and reciprocate in ways that make you feel truly valued. Protecting your energy and investing it in these relationships is one of the best things you can do for yourself, and in the end, you'll find that the people who truly deserve your kindness will make your life infinitely better. Saying no is something many of us struggle with, especially when it comes to people we care about or when we feel a sense of obligation. We've all been there. Someone asks for help, and we feel compelled to say yes, even though we're already overwhelmed, exhausted, or simply don't have the energy to give. We convince ourselves that saying yes is the right thing to do, that it's selfish to decline, or that we'll be letting someone down. But here's the reality. Saying no is not selfish. In fact, it's one of the most self-respecting and empowering actions you can take. Setting boundaries and saying no when necessary is essential for preserving your peace and ensuring that your kindness is only given to those who truly deserve it. When we talk about protecting your energy and setting boundaries, saying no is one of the most powerful tools you have. It's a way of ensuring that your time, your emotional energy, and your effort are not drained by people or situations that don't nourish you. It's an acknowledgement that your well-being is a priority and that you are not responsible for fulfilling every need that others have, especially when it comes at the cost of your own happiness and mental health. Think about it. How often do you find yourself saying yes to things that leave you feeling depleted, resentful, or unappreciated? Maybe it's agreeing to take on additional work when you're already overwhelmed. Maybe it's responding to requests for emotional support from people who never offer the same in return. When you constantly say yes to everyone else, you are, in effect, saying no to yourself. You're sacrificing your time, your peace, and your energy for people who may not even recognize the toll it takes on you. The truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. When you keep saying yes, you are giving away your energy until there's nothing left for yourself. And this is where the danger lies. When you give to everyone else and don't reserve any energy for yourself, you start to feel disconnected from your own needs. You begin to feel exhausted, emotionally drained, and perhaps even resentful of the people you've been trying to help. This is when you know it's time to start saying no. Setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind. It's about being honest and respectful of your own needs. When you say no, you are sending a message to yourself and to others that your well-being matters. You're telling the world that you are not a bottomless pit of kindness and that your energy is precious and must be safeguarded. You are creating space in your life for things and people that truly matter and for activities that are aligned with your values and goals. Saying no is a form of self-care. It's the recognition that your kindness is a gift, and it should not be given indiscriminately to people who do not appreciate it or who drain you without reciprocating. Not everyone in your life deserves your time, energy, or attention. There are people who will take and take without ever offering anything back. And when you continue to give to these people, you are allowing your kindness to be wasted. Saying no is about choosing where and to whom you give your energy. It's about understanding that your time is valuable, and it's okay to reserve it for the people and activities that add value to your life. It's also important to realize that saying no can actually strengthen your relationships. When you set healthy boundaries and refuse to be available to everyone all the time, you teach others how to treat you. You show them that you respect yourself, and you set an example for how they should approach their own boundaries. The people who respect your no will be the ones who truly appreciate you and your kindness. And those who don't respect it? Well, they were never the right people for your energy in the first place. When you start saying no, you'll also find that you have more energy to invest in the relationships that truly matter, the ones where there is mutual respect, care, and reciprocity. These are the people who genuinely appreciate your kindness and who will give back in ways that nourish you. It's okay to say no. It's not selfish. It's an essential part of protecting your peace and ensuring that your energy is used wisely. Saying no means you are choosing to preserve your own well-being and your mental health. It means you are protecting your kindness for the people who deserve it and for the things that align with your own values. And in doing so, you make space for the most fulfilling, meaningful connections in your life. In conclusion, protecting your energy is one of the most important acts of self-care and self-respect you can practice. By setting boundaries, saying no when necessary, and prioritizing the people who truly value and appreciate your kindness, you create a life that is filled with more peace, joy, and meaningful connections. Not everyone deserves your kindness, and it's okay to recognize that. Your energy is precious, and when you protect it, you make room for relationships that are mutually fulfilling, where both your needs and the needs of others are met with respect and care. In the end, choosing to value your energy is not just about preserving yourself. It's about ensuring that your kindness continues to shine in the right places where it can have the greatest impact.